So since we're doing our toe band stuff today, and it's kind of a little, just kind of smaller. The band is smaller, and the feet, the area that we're working in is smaller. I will do my best to present my feet in a way so that you can see sometimes what I'm talking about. But hopefully, my verbal cues will cover cover us so that we know what we're doing and we're making good progress. Okay, but to start, have your little, oh, and then I have to say this. If you're working from the YouTube channel later on and you want to do this work, we have these either silicone bands that I bought on Amazon. They're like little 4-inch silicone rubber bands, or you can use a rubber band that wraps around broccoli. So just know we want just a little bit of a wide band, about, I'd say that's about 2 inches. So that's what we're looking for. But just have that handy nearby, place it off to the side, sit down in your chair, scooch back, get comfortable. And then just for a second, let your eyes close down. Let your mind and your body settle in for a moment. And since we will be taking a little time to focus on a little bit of toe strength and foot strength, just for a moment here, notice how your feet are feeling in their fairly neutral cold position without having done any work. Notice how your feet feel, and maybe just notice the texture of your skin. Is it warm or is it cool? Is it supple or is it dry? There's no right or wrong, but notice. Do you feel like there's tension being held in the soles of your feet or in your toes? There's no right or wrong, but just notice. Now, can you allow your feet to get pretty soft and pretty heavy, and then just let your awareness travel to the back edge of your heel, maybe right about where your heel and your Achilles tendon meet. Notice if there feels like sensation there, and if it's exposed to the air, maybe just notice the cool air in your skin. And then allow your awareness to travel up to your calves and your shins. Notice your knees. Notice your thighs. Notice the back of your body that's connected to the chair, whatever parts that may be. Maybe parts of the backs of the thighs, the butt, the back, and the shoulders. And that might vary just depending on sizes of our chairs. And then maybe notice the contrast to that, or the opposite to that. So you notice your back connected to the chair, but now notice the front of your body that isn't connected to the chair. Notice your hands and your fingers, and if your hands are gripping, if you're holding tension in your hands, just for a moment here, maybe let your hands get just a little softer. And then with the body in a fairly soft and neutral position, we're going to just tune into where the breath is coming in and where the breath is going out. So if you're breathing in through your nose or if you're breathing in through your mouth, and there's no right or wrong, but just start to notice the quality of the breath as you breathe in and breathe out. If you're breathing through your nostrils, maybe notice if one side feels a little bit more congested than the other. There's no right or wrong, but just notice. If your nose is stuffed up or you're congested, or if you've got anything going on in your sinuses and you're breathing in through your mouth, maybe just notice the coolness of the air as you breathe in, and then the warmth of the air as you breathe out. And you can notice the same thing through your nostrils, but it's just a little subtle variation. It might be a little bit more present as you breathe in through your mouth compared to your nose. And then if you were breathing in through your mouth and your nose is cleared up just a little bit, see if you can start to breathe in and out through your nose. And then as we breathe in and out through our nose, keeping your eyes closed if you can, you're just going to press down into the pads of your big toes. You're just going to press down into the big toes. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. Relax that position, so release your toes from pressing down into the earth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. And then we're going to do that again. Press down into the big toe. So just the big toe is going to put a little bit of pressure down into the ground. And then once you've got that little press, breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. Release that downward press from the toes. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. And then we're just going to go one more time through. So press down into the big toes. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. Relax your toes. Let your feet be in a neutral position. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your nose. Awesome. And then before we move away from this place of stillness, place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Take a moment to come back to the breath, just noticing the gentle movement of breath underneath your hands. Set an intention here to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, release your hands to the tops of your thighs, lift your back away from your seat. If you can keep your eyes closed, cool. If you need to open them, also awesome. Walk yourself forward in your seat just a little bit. So your butt is centered in your chair, feet are nice and solid on the ground, and we have this nice tall uplifted spine. Once you feel like you're there, still keeping the eyes closed down if you can, we're just going to look the eyeballs side to side. So the eyelids are going to stay closed down if that's possible. If you need to open them, open them. But if you can keep them closed down, now you're just going to find a gentle rhythm, looking your eyeballs to the left and to the right. As you look your eyeballs to the left and to the right, do you notice that you pick up tension through the front line of the neck, maybe a little tension in the chest? Did your fingers and your toes want to help? Was there a little bit of activation in your fingers or a little press into your toes? Keeping your head as stable as you can, still looking your eyes side to side. Take one more moment here. And then when you're ready, let your eyes come to stillness. Gently open your eyes. Inhale, lift your chin upward towards the sky. Exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Keep your shoulders down and back. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. We're going to inhale, lift the chin up, hold there. Take about 2 to 3 cycles of breath. Just find a breath rhythm that works good for you. A gentle stretch to the front of the neck and the throat. On your next exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. Keep your shoulders down and back best you can. Let your forehead get kind of heavy here and take about 3 cycles of breath. Then as you complete those cycles of breath, you're going to slide your hands forward, catch your kneecaps, and move right into a seated cat-cow. Inhale as you lift your chin, lift your chest, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round, and then keep that going for a few cycles of breath. Just invite some good fluid movement into the spine. Find a rhythm that works good for your breath pattern. Take one more cycle of breath, and then we're going to add on. So we're going to keep that cat-cow situation going on. As you inhale, you'll lift the chest, and then as you exhale, you're going to pick up one knee, round it toward your nose, set that leg down. As you inhale, lift your chest, and then as you exhale, you're going to pick up the other knee and round. And then just take a few cycles through, moving at a pace that works good for you. How high up you pick up your knee, that's just totally up to what's most comfortable in your body. Take one more cycle through, or even yourself out. And then once you've completed those cycles of breath, find a nice tall neutral spine, feet planted firm on the ground. Inhale, raise your arms up, look to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time through here. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Left hand's going to stay touching the chair, right hand's going to reach up. Take 3 little micro side bends. So just a little lean over and then pull yourself back up, just to create a little bit of dynamic movement through the side of your body. And then once you've completed 3, switch over to the other side. Right hand touches down, left hand reaches up. Take about 3 little dynamic side bends here. Beautiful. And then once you've completed those 3, we're going to take it over to the other side and take a little hold. So grab hold of the side of the chair, find a depth of side bend that works good for you. Think about pulling that top thumb back just a little bit. Maybe turn your head, look up towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. When you feel ready, release and take your side bend over to the other side. Whatever handhold works for you and whatever depth of a side bend works for you. Once you feel like you found a good depth, think about pulling that top thumb back just a little bit, or even if it's just an energetic pull and there's no actual movement, turn your head upward if that feels like a nice way to go. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then release right into a seated twist. Right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand behind you. One more breath. When you're ready, release and take your twist over to the other side. Awesome. Release, come back to center. Find your mountain pose, and we're going to take 3 folds from here. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, fold forward. Dive your heart forward. Hands float down to the ground. Pull the abdominal muscles in. Roll up to a standing seated position. Roll the shoulders down and back. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Now see if you can just touch or brush your fingers across your toes just to get a sense of where your toes are. Roll your way up. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, fold yourself down. And this time, if you haven't touched your toes already, but you feel like it's available, take a second, pause, brush your fingers across your toes, pull your belly button in, roll your way on up. And then we're going to take 3 rolls of the shoulders around, down and back, circling around. Nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to circle in the other direction. So circle them back, up and forward. Beautiful. And then once you've completed those, draw the shoulders down and back, find your seated mountain pose. We're going to focus on the feet for just a second here. So we're going to press with a little bit of firmness down into the feet, like you're almost as if you're trying to push yourself up and out of your chair. So press down into your feet. You might feel the tops of your thighs light up, and then keep that nice downward pressing position. Arms can be wherever you like, or a little bit of a mountain pose situation, a little energy down into your fingers if that feels good. And then we're just going to focus on the feet. So you're going to keep that downward press, lift your toes and lower your toes. Lift your toes and lower your toes. Lift your toes, lower your toes, lift your toes, lower your toes. Now we're going to go toes and the balls of the feet. So you're going to lift the toes and the balls of the feet away from the floor, release them back down. Lift the toes and the balls of the feet, release them back down. Nice. Lift the toes and the balls of the feet, release them back down. Now pick up the heels. Lift the heels, lower your heels. Lift your heels, lower your heels. One more time. Lift your heels, lower your heels, feet on the ground. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. And now we're just going to Take 3 cycles of breath. Let your hands rest gently on tops of your feet as best you can. Belly is resting on the thighs. Soften the back of your neck. If it feels like it's just a little too much compression on the belly, you can always walk your feet a little bit further apart. But if you feel comfortable where you are, take 2 more cycles of breath. And then if your toe band or your rubber band is on the ground, now we're gonna see if we can just locate it. So pick up your band. We're gonna walk the feet a little bit closer together. Having access to be able to touch your feet is kind of essential just for this stuff that we're doing here. So if there is accessibility issues, you might need a helper if you have trouble reaching your feet. So we're gonna take our little toe band and we're gonna wrap it around the 2 big toes. So we're gonna walk the feet as close together as we can. Spread your band apart and then place your toe band around the 2 big toes. So once you've got the toe band around the 2 big toes, we're going to walk the feet apart as far as you can without compromising your big toes. So maybe it would be like a centimeter apart, it might be about an inch apart. So that'll just depend on your toes. If you have bunions and your big toes are very tight, you might not get very far. Don't worry about that. Just go as far as you feel comfortable with. And then we want to kind of think, now there is a space between, but we're going to think as we align our feet, big toes together, heels slightly out. So we're going to walk the heels out just a little bit. And then once you feel like you're there, you're going to feel those big toes pulling in towards each other. And now we're just going to try to plant the 4 little toes on the ground. And we're going to see if we have the ability to just lift the big toes and push the big toes down. That's all we're going to do to start. Keep that space between the toes, and you'll want to look at them so you know what you're doing. So keep the 4 little toes on the ground best you can, lift the big toes, press the big toes down. We're going to try to keep our legs as strong and solid as they can so the legs aren't moving too much. I find sometimes that if I let my fingers do the work as well, it helps my thumbs get the message, or it helps my toes get the message. All right, now we're going to add on. So if you've got that going on, or if you're still working on it, and do not worry about getting this right. This is a lot of work and it's a lot of fine tuning work. So we'll grow and we'll develop with it. So don't worry about getting it right. Just let this be a little playtime or an assessment of where you land today. So we're going to keep that space between the big toes. There's that little bit of space in between the 2 feet. And now we're going to go big toes, press the big toes down, lift the 4 small toes. Big toes are going to lift, 4 small toes press down, big toes down, and the 4 toes lift. So you're going to work through that. Just see what you've got. Notice the strength in your feet. Your toes might act a little wonky. Don't worry about that. They're just going to learn and they're going to build up strength. Nice. Take one more time up and down with the big toes and then with the 4 small toes. And then just for a moment, relax all your toes. We're still going to keep that little bit of space between the big toes. So to the best of your ability, without losing that little space in between the 2 big toes, relax your 4 small toes. Relax the arches of your feet. If you felt your arches of your feet were just screaming at you the whole time, take a second to let them chill out. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to fold down. We're going to unloop 1 toe. So we're going to keep the band around 1 toe and the other toe is going to be released. And now we're going to do like little toe up push-ups. Okay. So we're going to hold on. You choose which hand is going to work best for you. If you have a bunion and your toe tends to curl in towards the other 4 toes, you're going to maybe want to pull it out and away just a little bit with a sense of resistance. If your toes do not curl in like that, then you'll just keep it in a more neutral position. So we're going to grab hold of the band, put a little tension on, and pull slightly outward if you've got a bunion, pull slightly upward if you're working with a neutral toe. And now we're going to keep the 4 big toes on the ground, create that bit of tension, and then you're just going to pop the toe down, pressing down, and then you're going to see if you can find a little pace. So you're going to go a little bit faster. Everything else is going to stay as neutral as it can. If you notice your arches of your feet collapsing, see if you can let your arches stay lifted. Feet are nice and strong and active. Take one more little pulsation of that foot. And then when you're ready, we're going to release that big toe and switch over to the other side. So you're going to wrap the band around that other big toe, either pulling out and away from the 4 toes if you've got bunions, or just upward if you're working with a neutral toe. Once you've got your way there, we're going to take some toe taps. So you're just pushing the pad of the foot or pushing the pad of the big toe down onto the ground with a little bit of rhythm. Foot is going to stay as strong and neutral as it can. So the arches are going to stay lifted. We're not going to let that toe wiggle around too much. It's not going to wiggle to the left and to the right. So we want that. We're going to try to achieve that straight up and down tap. Do not worry if you're not getting it right. Nice. Take one more little tap up and down, and then release your toe from your band, and then sit up just for a second and wiggle everything out. Wiggle your toes, move your ankles, wiggle everything around, smush your toes, maybe even crunch them up just a little bit, just to kind of get everything moving a little bit. And then once you feel like you've moved your feet, set your feet down on the ground. We're going to spread the toes as wide as we can. Spread them out on the ground. You're going to notice that now one of the toes that maybe your angriest toe is just going to be like, I refuse to participate in this activity. So don't let your feet just kind of be whatever mood they're in. Spread them best you can. And then once you feel like you've got a good toe spread on the ground, push down into your feet. Lift the arches of your feet. Lift that strong energy up your legs, up your front of your body, up through the crown of your head. Nice. Let your hands come down at your sides. If you're holding onto your band, we'll set it down as we go down. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. If you've got your band in your hand, just set it down onto the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Right hand over to the left shin. Left hand's going to reach up to the sky for a little twist. Right away, release that hand down. Slide up the shin. Bring your knee up to your chest. Bring your nose to your knee. Release your nose from your knee. We're going to swing that leg out. Open the hip just a little bit. Circle your foot in one direction. Let your foot be as soft as it can. Circle your foot the other way. Beautiful. Bring that leg back in, set it down, find your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches up, one big twist, and then right away, bring that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee up to your chest, bring your nose to your knee, take one breath. Lift your nose away from the knee, swing that knee out, circle your foot in one direction, let the foot be as soft as it can. Circle your foot the other way. Beautiful, and then bring that knee back in, set it down. We're gonna pick up the other leg and we're gonna make a little basket weave. So pick up the leg, make your basket weave, and then we're just gonna swing from the knee hinge. So we're just gonna flick the foot forward and back. One more little flick forward and back, and then we're gonna pull that leg up as tight as you can up to the chest. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Take one more little breath and then release it down. We're gonna take it to the other leg. Grab hold of the back of the leg, lift it up. Take that little knee hinge, just kicking the leg forward and back. Beautiful, one more little kick forward and back. And then when you're ready, pull that knee in toward your chest, squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in, just as tight as you can. Awesome, and then release it down with control. Toe heel your feet out, and this is where we want to focus on the toe heel part. So we're gonna do with a little bit of intention. So walk your toes out, walk your heels out. Walk your toes out, walk your heels out. Work a little through the bottom of the foot. Let that be part of the move rather than just a transition. And then once you've got your feet out to a depth that feels good to you, we're gonna take a little bit of a side to side. So we're gonna go elbow to knee, lift your arm up, and then float right over to the other side. Elbow to knee, float your arm up. Beautiful. Elbow to knee, float the other arm up. Elbow to knee, float your arm up. Elbow to knee, stay there. Take one extra cycle of breath. Lift up, take it to the other side. Elbow to knee, arm floats up. Take one extra cycle of breath. Lift up, release your elbows from your knees with intention. Toe heel the feet. So we move through the shins, we move through the ankle joint, we move the toes. And then once you've got your feet back into that center or neutral position, we're gonna stomp the feet on the ground. So you're gonna stomp your feet with a little bit of energy. If you have neighbors underneath you and you like them, maybe you can be mindful. If you have neighbors underneath you and you don't like them, maybe you just let them know that you're here. Take a couple of more stomps of the feet, and then we're gonna take it up into the toes. So just tap into the toes. Tap into the balls of the feet. So lift your toes, but keep the heels lifted. Take it to the blade edges of the feet. Take it to your heels. And then relax your feet down. Let everything come to a stillness. Hands rest wherever feels the most comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Open your eyes, come back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches to the sky. Right away, we're gonna float that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee up to the chest, externally rotate, bring it right into your figure four, bringing the leg across the thigh. If that's not accessible, you'll take it across the ankle or across the block. Once you've got yourself set up, we're gonna take the hand to foot and we're gonna thread our fingers through the toes. You're gonna do like you're doing your little pedicure toe separators. You're gonna place your fingers between the toes. Give your foot a second. For some of us, this makes our foot a little bit cranky, so let your foot find its way, soften the arches of your feet, relax that inner ankle joint, and then once you feel like you're there, let your hand do the heavy lifting. Turn your foot in one direction. Turn your foot the other way. And now let that come to stillness, and you're gonna squeeze your toes around your finger like you're trying to scrunch up your toes, and then relax. Scrunch up your toes. Make sure you don't hurt your fingers or hurt your toes, but scrunch up best you can. Feel that little bit of strength in your toes and then relax. Scrunch up your toes and then relax. Nice. And now unthread your fingers from your toes, and we're gonna do that little dish towel maneuver. So we're gonna wring out the feet. Twisting and turning, going up towards the ankle joint, twisting and turning down towards the toes. Wonderful. One more little twist and turn up and down the foot, and then we're going to take the heel of the hand and we're going to take 10 good whacks to the center or sole of the foot. So just using the heel of the hand, and you're just going to hit with whatever vigor works best for you. So 10 good whacks to the bottom of the foot. Lovely. And then once you've done your 10 good whacks to the bottom of the foot, we're going to take it right into our figure four fold. So fold yourself forward to a depth that feels good to you. Take about 3 nice deep breaths. When you feel ready, lift up through the crown of your head, let your heart follow, lift that leg off with a little bit of care, set it down, and then just pause for a moment. Notice how one foot feels a little different than the other. Find your mountain pose. Gently pressing down into the feet. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches up to the sky, and then right away, release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee up, externally rotate, find your figure four. Nice. Once you're there, take your fingers, thread them through the toes, give it a second to find its way, and then one foot might behave differently than the other, so just allow it the time that it needs. Once you've got your fingers thread through and your foot has chilled out, take the foot and draw it in circles, go in one direction. Take your foot in circles, go the other way. Let the circles come to stillness, and now you're gonna scrunch your toes around your fingers, feel that nice strength in your toes and your feet, and then relax. Scrunch your toes around your fingers and relax. Scrunch your toes around your fingers and relax. Nice. And then unthread your fingers, and then 10 good whacks to the bottom of the foot. So with the heel of your hand, with as much vigor as you like. Once you've completed those 10 good whacks to the feet, take it into your figure four fold. You fold forward as much as feels comfortable to you. When you feel ready, lift up through the crown of your head, let your heart follow, come up nice and slow. With some care, release that foot and then set it down, and then we're just gonna lightly tap. So almost as if you're trying to take as much weight off of your feet, which means you might lean back just a little bit, but gently, lightly tap your feet on the ground. Just for one more moment, stimulate the bottoms of your feet, and then let your feet come to stillness, sit up nice and tall. Eyes are gonna close down if it's available. We're gonna inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Press down into the big toes. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Release the press of your big toe into the ground. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Press down into the big toe. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Relax your feet. Relax your eyes or the space between your eyes. And with your eyes closed, if you can, just a little gentle tick-tock of the head side to side. So think ear to shoulder at whatever pace works good for you. Take one more little tick-tock of the head side to side, and then we're going to add add a little bit onto that. So we're going to tuck the chin down and back. So like you're making that little micro double chin, holding that sense of double chin, but now we're going to come back to those tick-tocks of the head side to side. So it might be a slower, smaller, controlled motion, but we want to try to keep that head a little bit back so that lines up our posture. So we want that head, the heart, the hips in line. So sometimes we have that slightly forward leaning posture with the head. So try to hold and maintain that position of the head, and then tick-tock side to side to whatever depth works right for you. Awesome. One more little tick-tock of the head side to side, and then come back up, shimmy out your shoulders, just kind of relax everything. Sometimes that creates just a little bit of tension. And then we're going to turn our head to the left. Look over your shoulder just as far as you can. Hold that position with your head, but now look your eyes to the right. Just the eyeballs are going to look to the right. The head is going to stay turned just as it is. Hold that position with your eyes with a little bit of intention. When you feel ready, relax your eyes. Return your head to center, blink your eyes a couple times if you need to, but then we're going to take it to the other side. So look over your other shoulder. If your shoulder's kind of hiked up with you, see if you can just get those shoulders to relax down. And then keep that head turned position, but look your eyeballs in the opposite direction. So head is turned to the right, eyes look to the left, and then hold that eye position with a little bit of intention. When you feel ready, release your eyes, release your head to center, and now we're going to draw those little tiny micro circles in the air with our nose. So little 1-inch circles, just allowing the head to turn around, but not that big yank of the head around. So small, gentle movement here. And then as you start to do that small, gentle movement, if it's available, start to close your eyes down. Notice if you've kept any tension in your feet, maybe start to let your feet think about relaxing a little bit. Take your little circles and draw them the other way. Let your head come to stillness. And then from here, before you come all the way back into a seated Shavasana, if you feel like it would be more beneficial to take a sort of variation of legs up the wall where you throw your legs up over the chair just to kind of release the energy from your feet and let the blood flow come down to your heart in a nice gentle way, come down onto your back, kick your legs over your chair. But if it feels more accessible to just stay in your chair, do the variation that feels the best to you. Great, and then if you are going to come down onto your back, just give yourself a little bit of time. Scoot your butt as close to your seat as possible so that your legs have as much comfort and support as they can use. And then give everything a second. Let your legs get heavy into your chair. Let your back get heavy into the floor. Arms wherever feels the most comfortable. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. If you feel called to do so, or if your day requires, start to gently reawaken. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Invite a deeper breath into your body. If you can invite just a little bit of further movement into your legs, maybe walk your heels in a little closer, swish your knees a little side to side. We're going to send the right leg up towards the sky like a leg's up the wall, and we're just going to give that leg a little gentle shake. Just kind of shake it like you're waking it up. And then when you're ready, set that foot down, switch over to the other side. Lift your left leg up and just shake it out a little bit. Nice. And then at your own time, in your own way, and at your own pace, start to find your way to a seated position. Now that might mean staying seated on the ground if you chose to come down onto the ground, or it might be sitting up taller into your chair. So whatever variation of a seat feels good to you, take a second to find your way there. And then just, if you're seated in your chair, just walk yourself forward so that your back is lifted up and you have this nice tall spine. Nice. And then just for a second here, notice your feet connected to the ground. Maybe spread your toes, lift your arches, let your feet come to life for a second. Beautiful. And then bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time that you take to take care of yourself. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. When you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday. Nice work. Okay, now that was just the beginning. We've got miles to go before